report have to say about why the assets like National Guard weren't prepped and ready?
Very good question, Brett. Why the assets weren't prepped and ready? The National Guard, the chief of police wanted additional support, asked for it specifically. We have the documents. Didn't get it. Senate Sergeant at Arms, House Sergeant at Arms denied. Why? Don't know. Muriel Bowser denied additional support on January 5th, one day before. We don't want your help. It's there in writing. Why not? Why? All of these people were going to be there. All of our congresspeople, all of our senators, the entire country was keeping their eyes on the Capitol building on that day. And they couldn't even secure it. Why?
Is there a testimony already gathered on Speaker Pelosi's decisions or the Sergeant of Arms in the House and Senate on that regard?
Yeah, we have an entire team. We've got 5 different teams in the investigation. One of them is totally focused on all of those issues of security at the Capitol and the response of the Capitol Police, the response of the National Guard, the response of the Capitol Police Board, what was going on at the Pentagon that day. So it's an entire focus of the investigation. You will see in our report, you will likely see in upcoming hearings.
Likely see in upcoming hearings. I wonder if we're going to see Muriel Bowser. I wonder if we're going to see Stephen Son. I wonder if we're going to see any adversarial questions to any of them. Michael Stenger, we're not going to see. He was, I think, the House Sergeant at Arms. He's dead now, so we're not going to see him. Rest in peace. But no questions from him. Very interesting.
And so it's certainly something that we're going to be very focused on. But what we aren't going to do, Brett, is blame the Capitol Police, blame those in law enforcement.
Nobody's blaming them. Nobody's blaming them. Nobody's blaming them.
For Donald Trump's armed mob that he sent to the Capitol.
Okay, so Donald Trump's armed mob. I guess I can say this. There are people blaming the Capitol Hill Police. AOC is blaming the Capitol Hill Police. She is saying that they opened the door for people, and I'm also I guess I sort of am blaming the Capitol Police for letting protesters in, but they got the order from somebody, is my point. Remember the one that we saw where they were coming in, I think it was the west side of the Capitol, where we played it like 5 times here. I'm not going to pull it up right now. But where they tapped one of the police officers on the shoulder. He walked up to him. He whispered in his ear. He tapped him on the shoulder. He pulled the other officer back. And then the January 6th protesters walked right in the building. Okay, who gave that order, Liz? That is the Capitol Hill Police, right? Aren't they to blame if they let people in that you are now prosecuting for crimes? How are they not to blame? Okay, if they got the order to let people in, right, then I want to know who that person is, because that really is the person to blame. But we don't know who that is because nobody has asked the appropriate questions. She says she's going to put it in her report. I'm not too optimistic about that.
I think clearly there were intelligence failures. Clearly the security should have operated better than it did. But this was a mob Donald Trump sent to the Capitol, and I think that's important to keep our eye on.
There were several witnesses who say they met with President Trump on January 4th, and he offered some 20,000 National Guardsmen to protect the Capitol building on January 6th, but the offer was rejected. Is that true? Do you know that to be true?
Well, his own acting Secretary of Defense says that's not true. Chris Miller has testified publicly that Donald Trump never issued any order to deploy the Guard to protect the Capitol.
That's not, she's sneaky. That's not the question. Oh, this lady is the worst, the absolute worst. Do you hear what she said? She is so sneaky on this one. Wow. She is answering an entirely different question. Let's back this up again. I have to spend a minute on this. Brett Baer says, hey, I got to ask you this question, Liz. Did Donald Trump what was rejected from Trump? Did he offer additional support before this happened? Okay, the timing is important. Before it happened. Brett Baer is a before question to stop this from happening. Liz Cheney is answering an after question. Okay, after the J6 happened, she's saying that Donald Trump didn't issue an order after the fact. Okay, Brett asks a before question, she answers an after question, and they sound very close. This is very sneaky. You got to be very careful when politicians do that, and she's the worst.
And Trump on January 4th, and he offered.
Let me back it up a little bit.
The security should have operated better than it did.
Okay.
But this was a mob Donald Trump sent to the Capitol, and I think that's important to keep our eye on.
There were several witnesses who said they met with President Trump on January 4th. 4th, and he offered some 20,000 National Guardsmen
January 4th,
to protect
before.
the Capitol building on January 6th, but the offer was rejected.
Now listen to her.
Is that true? Do you know that to be true?
Well, his own acting Secretary of Defense says that's not true. Chris Miller has testified publicly that Donald
What?
Trump never issued any order to deploy the Guard to protect the Capitol. And so I would point people to his
That's not what the question was.
own Secretary of Defense's public testimony. And we also know that on January 6th, while the attack was underway,
Look, it's an offer. He was rejected by Muriel Bowser on December 5th. She sent a letter that we've talked about. So of course, why would he issue an order? You want him to override DC Mayor Muriel Bowser? Then people like you, Psycho Liz, would be saying he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant, somebody who's going to be insurrecting America for overriding the National Guard, right? If he would have supported and like prevented this, you would have said, this guy's just a total dictator. He's trying to take over America by bringing the National Guard here. So he's sort of damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. If he would have brought a bunch of additional troops in, you would have said, see, he's taking over America with all of these troops. He doesn't send them. You say he failed to act for not sending in the troops. These people are insane.
Donald Trump did not place a single phone call to anyone at the Pentagon. He didn't place a single phone call to anyone at the Justice Department to say deploy law enforcement. Mm-hmm. He didn't place a single phone call to anybody at the Department of Homeland Security. And so the notion that
Trump should have been on the switchboard. Hey, Mayor, hey, whoever his people are. Hey, what's going on? Okay, what are you doing? All right, hang it up. And he's going to talk to this person and hang it up to them. And he's calling this person. And then he's like, all right, can we just get everybody on a group call? Can we just zoom this thing up? Can we three-way this? Hey, let me just get you on this. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Somehow he issued an order is not consistent with the facts.
All right, so she's something else, that's for sure. Now, finally, she goes back, and folks, she's going to be